Now I'm going to do 6.29. This isn't assigned for homework or anything, but again, more practice makes perfect. So, remember the instructions for 6.29. You're allowed to use anacon only with literals and using the contradiction symbol. The conclusion doesn't tell us much with respect to how to start, but each of the premises contains a disjunction. So right away you get to think, yay, subproofs. We're going to start by breaking apart the first premise. And the reason for that is I look at the first disjunct of the first disjunction. It's actually what I'm after. So this is probably going to be an easy way to at least get half of it done quite quickly. So what I'll do is I'll set up the first subproof. That'll be the first part I'm after. I'm trying to get. That is the goal. And that subproof. Start a second subproof. This time it'll be larger. Larger AC. And I'm trying to get larger AB. If I've done that, I can justify this using these two subproofs, breaking apart that disjunction using the OR elimination rule. This, straightforward. It's just a reiteration. I'm just repeating that step. Here, trickier. So what I'm going to do is I have to start looking around. Now remember, the instructions leave open the possibility that the argument is invalid, but you should try and carry it through as far as you can to figure out if it's actually invalid or not. The first thing I realize is that my second sentence is also a disjunction. So one of the things I can do is try and break apart that disjunction to see if I can get larger AB as a result of each of these. One of the reasons I think it might work, actually there's two reasons. First off, the first disjunct says smaller BA. Well, you know, based on the meaning of smaller, that if B is smaller than A is larger than B, which is something that we're after. The second disjunct says A is not larger than C. But if you look at what you have in line 5, it tells us that A is larger than C. So we have a contradiction. So the odds are looking pretty good that I'm going to be able to work this out. So the first thing I'll do, I'll write the first disjunct of this line 2, which will be smaller BA. I'm trying to get larger AB. And that next subproof will be not larger AC. And that, I'm trying to get larger AB. Okay. Write in what you're doing as you're going, just so you don't forget. What I've done, I've broken apart that sentence using these two subproofs and the OR elimination rule. That should check out. Up here, well, I know that if B is smaller than A, based on the meaning of the predicate smaller, that A has to be larger than B. So what I can do there is use anacon, which allows me to manipulate the meanings of the predicates. Down here, it's a little different. Here, line 8 tells me A is not larger than C, or it is not the case that A is larger than C. But line 5, which I have access to in this subproof because of the scope line, tells me that A is larger than C, or it is the case that A is larger than C. That leads to a contradiction. And it's not even a contradiction using the anacon, it's a contradiction using the negation symbol. Because here I have a term, and here I have the negation of that term. So I can justify that using contradiction intro. Once I have a contradiction, I can use that contradiction symbol to write whatever I want. I need larger AB, so I'll do that. And that's the whole problem. So that's what you do, 6.29.